Hello and welcome to Your Average Bear Gaming. Today I'm curious about your paint setup. Specifically, how do you store your paints? I know people's preferences probably run the gamut from keeping all your paints in little buckets to having an elaborate tower where you can see every single paint you own. And it made me wonder, how do real people who paint non-professionally keep their paints? As a resident non-professional painter of this channel, I've got my preference and it skews towards the organized. Thankfully, I don't have a ton of paints. I recently got a new system that hopefully will help me be even more organized, and that's what got me thinking about it. Are you a all your paints in a bucket kind of person? Are you an elaborate wall system person? Are you somewhere in between? I'm curious. Let me know. And while we're at it, I'll show you my current system and my new replacement system. It'll hopefully help me keep my paints organized, visible, easy to reach, and also stored in a nice compact way that'll work with my limited workspace. So here are the things that constrain my paint storage system. One, I live in an apartment and I haven't gotten a second bedroom just to use as my painting studio because, quite frankly, that's expensive. I'm not a professional painter. I don't make money off of this. I don't make money off of painting. I don't make money off of YouTube. So to spend an extra couple $100 every month just so I can have a dedicated painting space, it just doesn't make sense. Not for me and not at this time. So the space that I use is my countertop. It's the island in my apartment kitchen slash dining room slash living room slash office space. It's a nice, big, sort of level surface that basically holds all my painting and it holds all my projects, and it gives me a nice area where I can build, magnetize, and paint all of my models. So no matter how many paints I have to fit them all in a space around me without the aid of walls, because right in front of me, well, there's the kitchen sink and the island ends. I don't have a wall to put in front of me, so I can't use a wall-mounted paint system. So all I have available to me are whatever is here by my side and the stuff up front. So I basically have two items that help me organize my paint. I have this paint rack right here. It holds most of my paints. And I also have a little kind of a small paint rack in front of me that you don't normally see, but it also serves as a staging area. It has all my glue, it has bits, it has razor blades, it has all kinds of stuff that I need occasionally to reach for, and it's right there in front of me. But the real problem I've encountered is that I don't have enough spaces to keep my bottles. Moving this guy forward, you can see my preference. I like having my paints not so much on display because there's no one here and my dog doesn't care about my paints. I care about my paints, especially when I'm painting and trying to figure out how I'm going to paint my models. I want to be able to see the contents of the bottle, and having them displayed in a system like this helps me distinguish between the oranges and the blues, etc., etc. The initial plan was to have these paints organized by their spectrum. You know, the reds, the oranges, the yellows, all in a nice gradient. The thing is, I ran out of space pretty quickly. I had more varieties of these paints than I had slots to put them in, so I quickly ended up having to do stuff like this. And like that. And even putting another bunch in the rack in front of me. It works for a while, but I'm adding new paints to my collection and I want to use them, and if I don't see them, I won't use them. Recently got my hands on some of these. These are Vallejo model color paints. I haven't used them yet, and I don't know that they're going to improve my painting game, but they probably won't hurt it either, and I'm kind of looking to transition. I want to experiment. The thing is, I don't have any places to put these, so I got a replacement for my trusty steed. And that's what's in this box. What's in the box, you ask? Okay, let's pretend you asked, because otherwise this bit is even less funny. This is the new paint rack that I ordered a couple days ago. It arrived, it's in my hot little hands. Let's open it up. Here's the paint rack. Here's the box. That seemed excessive. Here's what the new paint rack is supposed to look like. It should be compact enough to fit in my workspace. It's elevated with having a relatively small footprint, and it allows me to keep my paints with an orientation that allows me to see what I have without having to go digging for them. I think that's going to work out. By the way, I picked this up not from Amazon. It was from another website. I'll put a picture here somewhere so you can see where I got it in case you want to get your hands on it. I don't know if you do or not because I haven't even tried it yet. I don't know if it's any good. Here it is. It looks nice. It smells like nothing. That's a shame. It's got some instructions. Let's get to building. You know, there was a moment there where I wasn't sure I was going to be able to put this thing together. You basically assemble it kind of in the middle to one side and then somehow get all of these shelves to align in the little brackets out here. And I thought, there's just no way. Turns out I was wrong, there is a way. But it's all set up. It's pretty light. It's a little on the flimsy side. I could have made it more secure with some wood glue, but quite frankly, I hate working with wood glue when I'm not making bases, so here it is. And just so you can see what it's going to look like more or less, it holds a ton of paints, and I should be able to see the color of those paints when I'm not actively looking for them. Let's move stuff over. There it is, my new paint rack. It holds all of my Army Painter paints in one rack in such a way that I can see what's in the bottles. I can pick out whatever I want whenever I want. I even have one solitary slot left over for one more paint. I'm sure I'll find something for it. Now that that's done and the paint rack is positioned where it's going to live, I will say this project was not a complete success because I still have my Vallejo paints in my hand and not in a rack. But that's okay. I knew that I wasn't going to have enough room for everything in my collection. These are the technical paints that I sometimes use to base my models, and you know, they don't have a home here, but I never intended to keep them there. I do have that works area up front. I might keep them there. I might just line them up like so, along with my Citadel color shades, my weird collection of Citadel color paints, and these other Citadel color paints. And these guys, well, these guys, you know what? They live over there now. And so do these. These are gross. It's not perfect, but it does a pretty decent job. It certainly eliminated the need for this guy. It didn't hold nearly enough paints, and it had a larger footprint than that guy did. Push comes to shove, I can always get another one of these, put it behind for some reason. Or maybe I can have one rack of these for Army Painter paints and another one for Vallejo paints. Now that's an idea. An expensive idea. But I've made some progress, I'm happy, and honestly, that's all that matters. So, how about you? What is your preferred method? What do you look for in a paint rack? Do you have a paint rack? What do you look for in a paint tub, you heathen? I kid, you're probably a better painter than me, and you know more than I do. And as I wave goodbye, I realize that I have one more paint bottle that I can store. It's this airflow improver that I use probably more often than I should. That gets the last spot right there. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful afternoon. Be nice to yourselves and each other. Peace. I'm not a professional painter, that's insane.